right? You write them down on a spreadsheet. That's the people I can call when I have that kind of problem. An advisory board is a little bit different, right? And those people you need to be very selective, I think, about, that person is an ideal fit for me, for this company, because he or she's gonna bring that particular value to the problem set, whatever the journey that you're on. You recognize that person as someone who can do that. But informal advisors, I think you should have a stable of people you can reach out to.
I agree. I have some around my life too, and it's awesome. You meet with them, and you just kind of hammer things out. And
totally.
It's they've been there before.
Yeah, and I'll say too, don't expect advisors or mentors or anybody to understand your business like you do. You've been working on it for 6 months, for 6 years. You know so much more, and that's why it's so important to be very specific about that thing, because we all have experiences. Some are relevant, some are not. If we have a conversation, you tell me about your startup and you struggle with something, I'm going to map that to my experience. I'm going to say, okay, here's how I think about that. Yeah. I might be completely off base. It's your company though. You need to decide, is what I told you material, like specifically material to the problem you're trying to solve, or is there a story behind that you can glean some value out of without saying, well, I'm not going to make that decision, but now I just learned something about the way that person thought about that problem. You need to figure out how to get value, but just listen and do not argue, right? Small a argument is death to, I think, a relationship with an advisor. Big A argument, right? A formal well, I'm not sure I agree, because what about this? Having that sort of dialogue is awesome, right? And good mentors, I think, like to have that dialogue. But if you're like, oh, geez, you don't even know you have no idea, man. That's totally wrong, blah, 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 blah. And don't expect that all mentors are going to come, with this very effective sort of Socratic approach. Let me understand your problem. Here's what I think.
A lot of them are be very direct.
They're like, oh yeah, you should do this. You're going to fail if you don't do that, right? And it drives me nuts, frankly, when I hear other mentors or advisors, and certainly if I have that sort of an exchange where somebody just they think they understand all about my business, and they're just going to in 30 minutes, they're going to figure out the one thing that I need to do, and if I don't do it, I'm going to fail, without getting deep. If they go deep and they say, this is a serious problem, if you don't fix this, you're going to fail, I'm all ears. But if we have a cursory conversation, and we're talking about that lots of, and they just sort of, pronounce, you got to do that. So you got to do that. I'm just like, okay, thank you very much. I may never talk to you again, but I appreciate that. And just take it, right? And don't let it stop there. I mean, even when I have that feeling like, oh man, I know so much that person doesn't understand, and there's a really good reason why that's not the right approach for the problem I'm trying to solve. I don't hold it against them, because they didn't have the knowledge. I wasn't effective enough to communicate exactly what I cared about to get to the solution. So I don't hold it personally, but you see a style. Look for mentors who have a style around helping you solve a problem, not telling you the answer.